statement number one is blank was the biggest loser of any winning teams this round.
Oh boy. This is one of those biggest loser of the winning teams.
Yeah.
I kind of previewed a little bit of my headlines. Is many would say Fremantle and Sydney would be the two teams because they were playing teams outside of the 8 non-finals teams, and they both were within 3 goals. So you would probably say that just because if you look at just it puts doubt into both fan bases' minds whether they're going into the finals in good form or not. Again, I stated my opinion on St. Kilda. I think GWS came out and they went for it. And Fremantle originally they got beat up a little bit, and then the
first quarter gave me so much hope.
Yep. So it's one of those where
bastards.
If you force me to choose one or the other, I'd probably pick Fremantle because GWS has been further down. But I think they're relatively both even, just because of the fact that, again, it put a lot of doubt into both supporter bases on whether they were going into the finals in good form or not.
Yeah, I guess out of anyone, probably be Frio. I mean, how are you going to get scared by GWS? No one's scared of them, except maybe West Coast. But hell, even that game is probably very competitive at this point. You know what? Like I said, really though, at least it's over. Don't have to worry about them sucking for another season.
Now you can just enjoy the footy.
Exactly. So it's a clear mind, and now I can just root for. I still think this is so
Barrack.
funny. This is bad because they're rivals. One of the best and honestly one of the more exciting rivalries we've seen as of late. But maybe it's because you're in my co-host here. Maybe it's because I was so right about them last year and still riding with that. I root for Sydney. It seems so blasphemous as a GWS supporter, but hell, it is what it is. It also doesn't hurt that you have Buddy Franklin, who's definitely one of my favorite players. Dude's amazing. He's so excited, and it's going to be a shame when apparently he's not going to be playing for Sydney. Apparently, I mean, if we want to just go on tangent real quick, I wonder if that probably wasn't the full truth, given how no one's talked about that since the news first broke, like a handful of rounds ago, that Buddy Franklin was leaving the Swans at the end of the season. So it goes to show you possibly the credibility of that report, that literally no one's talking about that. Well, I thought that was funny.
I think the legitimacy of it kind of went out the board too when they literally they asked Tom Harley from the Swans, and he said it was news to him, which Tom Harley is very good at communicating with the players and everything like that. So I agree with what Horace Longmire said eventually is I don't think he bought a house in the Gold Coast as a house to move to play footy. I think he bought it as a retirement home. So I think
retirement home, man. Good for him.
Honestly, I think the most likely outcome is he either plays one more season as the Swans. They'll eventually get it done. I think there's enough trust between the two. They'll eventually get something that's both beneficial for both parties, or he's going to retire. And I've had some people I've put up the question. I go, if the Swans somehow win a flag, Buddy going out with his 1,000th goal on a flag in one season, man, you can't ask for it. You can't ask for it anything better. I don't think he needs to put his body through anymore. If he gets one more flag at Sydney, the 9-year contract will have been worth it, as some people would say, because they get a flag. If he goes off into the sunset, I will thank him. I will thank him as much as I possibly can, because he's been a great stalwart for the club for 9 years. Again, some of those he wasn't always playing footy, but what he did for the Swans was absolutely fantastic.
Of course.
But there is a part of me that goes, if the Swans don't win a flag, I think he's back next year, because I think he sees the core that's being built and everything that's done with Sydney. I think he's gonna, and this is all due respect to Brisbane, which was the team that they were talking about. I think Sydney is closer to a flag than Brisbane is, and I know that's controversial for some people. I think Sydney's
not
closer.
Controversial for me. Ugh. Or anyone with a half a brain, apparently, or not a Brisbane supporter. or maybe those two kind of go hand in hand. There's my shot Brisbane this round. I apparently
just trying to offend everybody at this
I
point.
think so. Well, if I offend everyone, then it's okay, right? So I'm just going to do my best. Here, let me just find a random team. I'm going to insult them real quick. St. Kilda, you're inconsistent. You suck. There we go. Now on to the next statement.
That's just the truth. That's just the truth. All due respect to the St. Kilda fans.
Guess that's not
just the truth.
Poor guys. And there's Donnie's thing for you guys as well. All due respect, but disrespectfully.